Hi, I'm Heather Holm from SpirographicArt.com. This video is an introduction to the new Spirograph. So I'm going to give you some basics about how to do Spirograph. When you open the box, you'll see a collection of gears and wheels and pens. There are two rings of different sizes, slightly different sizes. There's this rack. There are a bunch of round gears and some oddly shaped gears. And there are 3 pens. And now I prefer to use other kinds of pens like felt tip pens. Other Spirograph sets come with different sets of pens, so your set may be different. But there are many, many kinds of pens that you can use. The new sets come with some putty, which they call spiro-putty, but it's really just poster putty that you can get at any stationery store. So if you have an old set that used to come with tiny little pins that you had to attach to a piece of cardboard, you could just go to a store and buy some blue tack or poster putty and use that instead. So we're going to start with attaching a ring to the paper using the spiro-putty. You can just break off pieces of spiro-putty and break off 4 of them, that's a good number, and attach these pieces to the bottom of the ring that you're going to use. And make sure the spiro-putty is inside the teeth so that you don't want spiro-putty sticking inside where you're going to draw. And then push it down on the paper. And now it's firmly fixed to the paper. So now I'm going to take a wheel, and you could try any wheel for the first time. I've got wheel number 45 because why not? And then I think I'll take one of my pens. These are Stabilo .88 felt tip pens, but any kind of pen will do, including the ones that come with the set. You see there's a set of holes, and they're arranged in a spiral, and they move towards the middle of the wheel. I'm going to use the outermost hole because that gives you the most pronounced pattern. And I'm going to line up this hole. You don't have to, but I'm going to line it up with a mark on the ring. And then I'm going to put my pen in it and hold the pen vertically. Now the pen pushes the wheel around, but not in a circle. And you have to follow what the wheel tells you and keep the teeth engaged with the teeth on the inside of the ring. So sometimes it moves, it takes that hole to the outside, and sometimes it takes that hole to the inside. So you just follow it around. Don't go too fast. Just let the wheel guide you and keep that wheel going around the ring. Keep the teeth engaged. All you need is a light touch. You don't need to force anything. The pen can move inside the hole. If the pen is a very fine tip pen like this one, it will move inside the hole, and that's all right. And eventually you will come back to where you started, but obviously not now. I just went back there to catch a spot that I missed. Eventually, in all the combinations, you will come back to where you started. This is wheel number 45 in ring 144/96, which means it has 96 teeth on the inside and 144 on the outside. I think I'm coming back soon to the beginning. So there I am. I'm just going to go a little further and catch that spot I missed. So there, I've made a complete pattern with ring number 45. Now, one thing you can do to make it more interesting is get a different color and use a different hole. From experience, I know that hole number 2 is going to be very close to hole number 1. I'm going to use hole number 3 and draw with a different color, so you can appreciate the difference between hole number 1 and hole number 3. Again, I put it in the hole and I hold it upright, and I allow the wheel to guide me around in a circle. You can see it's still very close to hole number 1, going around and around. I'm going a little faster this time. It's a little easier to draw on the inner holes, but it doesn't give you such a pronounced pointy pattern, as you will see. So now I'm using the pink, and I'm lining hole number 9, and the line that's going from hole number 9, lining it up with the same mark on the ring. And now I will draw. So you see hole number 9 is a lot farther from the edge than hole number 1. So it doesn't go right to the edge of the ring like hole number 1 did. I'm going to keep going until I come back to where I started. I'm going to stop there, and to remove the ring from the paper with the poster putty, I'm just going to lift it gently, or you can give it a little twist. Just gently, you don't want to tear your paper. And detach the putty, and there you have your design. Now if you were using pins, you'd have tiny pinholes like the old spirographs had, and we always had these pinholes in our paper, but the poster putty allows you to draw on just about anything. The ring will stay attached to the surface while you're drawing and won't damage the paper. So you could use it on cardstock and make nice greeting cards, for example. Now I'm going to use the same ring with the Spiro putty on it, still on it, and try a different wheel just to show you how different it can be. The Spiro putty is, I can leave it still on there. I find I can get several uses out of it before I have to reform it. But if you find it's not sticking, just give it a little, roll it up a little bit to make it thicker, and then press down again, and it will stick well to the paper again. There we go. This time I'm going to use wheel number 72. I just picked it at random, really. First I'll draw with hole number 1, lining it up with a mark just for reference. And let's see how different it is from the previous. Now again, I'm taking my pen and holding it vertically. And this is a bigger wheel. So I find with the bigger wheels, they're a little bit harder, and they make tighter loops. So you have to, until you get used to it, you have to go slowly, go gently. And let's go over 2 holes. So now I'm going to use hole number 3 and draw the pattern. With hole number 3, you can see now the loops are bigger. And I'm going to move to hole number 5, line it up, draw the pattern. You can have a lot of fun with different color combinations. Now let's try another color, and hole number 7, draw the pattern. I'm staying on a pink and purple theme here. Let's go back to a different color, the first color, and I'm going to line up hole number 9 with my same mark on the ring and draw it. And you see how the pattern is moving in towards the middle. And then I'll pick up another pen, cycle here. Hole number 11. You can see that the middle, if that happens, if it jumps, just line it up again And try again, don't give up. I just missed the last little bit. That's a good reason to be using a mark. It helps you find your place again. Now, hole number 13. So I'm using the odd numbered holes. Around and around. It's a little easier as you get toward the middle. Now hole number 15. Now hole number 17. And hole number 19. I want to make sure I'm lining it up properly. Now, when do you stop? That's a good question. I don't know. You can decide, do I like the way that looks? Shall I keep going? Feel free to experiment. And that was hole number 21. So I'm going to stop there and let's gently, carefully remove the ring from the paper. And move the paper so we can draw another pattern. And we can just push it down, make sure it's sticking well. This is wheel number 32, so let's see what kind of pattern it creates. A triangle. Now, suppose I wanted to make a 6-pointed star. If I line up the triangle with a mark that's halfway between this mark and this one, and draw again, I have a 6-pointed star. I know from the booklet that there is a wheel number 80 will give me a 6-pointed design. So now that I have a 6-pointed design made with number 32, if I take number 80, can I make this work and create something new? So now here is wheel number 80, which the pattern guide tells me will make a pattern with 6 figures. So I'm going to try this. Get creative. Try a different color. I won't use hole number 1. I'm going to use something further inside. Maybe hole number 5. And I see that the pattern, just by playing with it, the pattern is going to stay inside the pattern I made with the first wheel. So there, see, the pattern is being delivered into the space left from the first wheel. Well, that's interesting. Now maybe I could make another design with another line with another hole. I wondered. So let me find the hole that would intersect with the end of this loop here. I have to, there, that looks like that would intersect with that loop. Let's see how that, there. There, that's interesting. That was hole number 16. So I could see from the distance of the hole from the edge there that it was going to intersect with the loop left by the first hole I used. And now it makes that interesting design altogether. I'm going to try that trick again. And it's going to be one of the innermost holes will intersect again with the loop made from that last hole. So here we go. Almost a circle. There, I think I'll stop there. There's my design, and there's a design I just made up on the spot by playing with the distances and trying to predict how things were going to intersect